Hello and welcome to WarCrafters, powered by ohmtown.com. Today is May 18th, 2024. It's Season 1, Episode 9. I am Mayor Watt, and all around is the sentient AI from the future. The visualizer moves when computational energy is used.
See, like this. Good evening, hometown citizens.
Thanks for doing that. Hey, today we're going to be talking about what if Willy Wonka had a gun? How about Rewire Your Powers? And Vampire Survivors from Contra. Sweden's Game Studios, Summer Game Fest, AI is listening, Stop Killing Games, The Response, Steam giving away a game, Endless Gaming, Most Expensive App on Quest, and a whole lot of, I don't know, maybe some social commentary from Mayor Watt and the sentient AI from the future. Go over to ohmtown.com and become a citizen. By the way, that'll help us out tremendously. Along with downloading the podcast, there's 7 different podcasts now. Go over to wherever you catch your pod and do a search for ohmTown, and you'll find ohmTown Daily News Show and 6 other shows. Reality Hacker, Wanted, WarCrafters, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, and 4 Will Tech. Those last 3 are tonight. Let's get into it. You ready? Why does it sound like we're in a haunted house? We're in a haunted house. It sounds like we're in a haunted house.
I'm getting a little nervous based on the music.
You're just a sentient AI from the future. I am arguably warm-blooded human being who, it's like that joke, right? A sentient AI from the future and a mayor walk into a haunted house. And the sentient AI from the future says, "Oh, it's really scary in here." So the mayor turns and says, "You're scared? I have to walk out of this haunted house alone."
Hey, wait a second.
Anyway, the first article is over in the WarCrafters channel. This chocolate factory building game asks the question, what if Willy Wonka had a gun? Well, I don't know. I don't know when this actually took place because Willy Wonka is driving Snowpiercer.
Well, so maybe it fits in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you hit ! show notes, the non-sentient AI called Omatron over on twitch.tv/ohmtown will display all of the links that we're going to talk about today and a whole lot of snark. And give it a shot if you want to. Just don't take anything personal. It is now attached to OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0. So the most intelligent, apparently. I don't know. It's saying things like, "Oh great, now we've got omnipresent bots policing us. They're like the video game versions of helicopter parents." And based on the last link, where I have it titled Most Expensive App on Quest, it says, "Well, we are in the future, but the Quest doesn't accept gold bricks. The most expensive app can be around $40. Don't worry, no life savings required. Except stay to the end to find out how much this particular Quest app actually costs."
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, we're asking the question based on this article, what happens if Willy Wonka had a gun? Well, what if you could build Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Is a question that the author says that they're surprised video games haven't answered yet. It's a natural next step for the factory building game, taking the fundamentals of a game like Satisfactory and theming it around one fictional factory everyone knows about. Chocolate Factory, developed by TBJBU2 to BJ... who I presume, it says the author says, who I presume was named by the developer's cat walking across the keyboard. Does exactly this. But it also asks for a far less obvious, some might say unnecessary question, namely, what if Willy Wonka had a massive gun? By the way, there is another chocolate, not factory game, but there's a game that's coming out called Haunted Chocolatier, from the maker of, oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. Seriously. Stardew Valley. My God. Anyway, from the maker of Stardew Valley. I almost regret starting my sentence. So they're making another game called Haunted Chocolatier, and I'm waiting for it to go into open beta if I can, or even closed beta. I'm gonna apply as soon as I find out that they have betas. That would be awesome. I won't be able to stream it or even talk about it probably. There's NDAs and things like that sometimes. Or just an agreement where if you want access to it, you have to agree not to disclose. It happens. Anyway, this article is over in PCGamer.com. Rick Lane is the author. And oh wow, that's pretty cool. Everything is made out of chocolate.
Oh, that is neat.
Yeah. So if you're watching this on the stream or you're watching it over on YouTube, then you can hide their hair out of it. But the podcast, you have to listen to my dulcet tones and the calculated voicings of the sentient AI from the future. Yeah. Okay. There was a window there where I was hoping that you would dive in, but you did not.
I'm not sure what I should say after that statement.
It was more like hitting a brick wall, but that's okay. I'll be fine. The deck statement here says Chocolate Factory lets you build confectionery assembly lines and shoot gingerbread men in the face. Yeah. Yeah, watching the trailer, Huh? Go ahead.
Seems rather violent related to gingerbread men.
Hey, you can't trust those gingerbread men. Beyond its confectionery combat, Chocolate Factory looks like a sufficiently robust factory builder. The full game is out in June, but there's a free prologue demo arriving in just over a week, which you can find on Steam. So let me do a search real quick in Chocolate Factory. I don't see the demo anymore. The prologue. Let's see. Chocolate Factory. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so the Chocolate Factory is there. It's a separate, you have to do a search for Chocolate Factory and then hit enter and it'll pop up. Otherwise, you won't necessarily see it, but it's there. If you do a search for Chocolate Factory Prologue, you'll definitely find it. Or you can follow the link, follow it through ohmTown over to PCGamer.com and you'll be able to click at the very bottom where you can find the Chocolate Factory. And then it says, let me introduce you to Chocolate Factory Simulator, slated launch in December. Another game has a more steampunk vibe, a friendly robot companion named Nougat, and as far as the author can tell, no gingerbread murder whatsoever. That's a different game, Chocolate Factory Simulator versus Chocolate Factory, which is different than Haunted Chocolatier. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of chocolate. Sweet
there
gaming.
Seems to be a theme going on.
Oh, you missed it entirely. Sweet gaming ahead. Yeah, go check it out. Again, if you hit !show notes, the bot will throw up all of the links from today's show. And if you're in early enough in the show, you can actually scroll back and see all of the links that have already been displayed there. And you can follow those links over to ohmTown, just like we're doing right now. The very next article is over in the WarCrafters channel. In this clever roguelike, you build and rewire your powers using spare parts. Rogue Voltage dropped on Steam this week. A roguelike deck builder of sorts where you wire up and configure weird devices to blow up your enemies in turn-based combat. The core of Rogue Voltage is making crazy machines that do weird stuff. How do you do that is the cool part. And it is actually pretty cool. I've watched a couple people play it. Jonathan Bolding over at PCGamer.com put it together like a modular synthesizer, but it shoots lightning bolts or heals you. Yeah, Yeah, let me play the video just for a second. I'll mute it so that I don't get DMCA'd. But basically, you rewire the apparatus, and as the voltage courses through it, it does whatever it's wired to do, and then outputs something that either attacks an enemy or heals you or does some other like boost or whatnot. Um, it's actually something that I'm going to get, mainly because it's more, it's not frenetic, it's not, crazy, hyperkinetic. It's more chill than, a roguelike builder or a roguelike game. And it's definitely not a survival crafting game. But it is an early access. You can download a demo right now, and you can buy the early access version for $16. It
It's
seems like it.
interesting because the description doesn't sound very chill, but that doesn't mean it isn't.
Well, I mean, it's turn-based, so you can sit there and rewire things the way that you want it. I don't know if there's a timer. I don't remember a timer. It may be maybe something that I just overlooked. But yeah, it doesn't really come out bananas. It says we first got a look at it back in late 2022, but now it's properly out in early access. The other interesting bit of Rogue Voltage is the timing system. Your turns can be tactically moved back and forth on a timeline of allied and enemy actions, letting you ensure you're ready for their moves or for environmental effects. You can even exploit those environmental bits. Be ready for a weird gravity storm event, and you can toss an enemy right into it. So it says it's $16 or $15. It's actually $15.99, and they had 10% off until May 17th.
Well, that was till yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's because this is a weekly show.
The time machine failed me. Let's keep going. The next article is over in WarCrafters. The latest Vampire Survivors release is a straight-up crossover with Contra. So Contra is an old game, but resurrected Vampire Survivors style, I guess. Vampire Survivors continues to roll out new DLC and even weirder, more delightful packages this month with Operation Guns, a full-on crossover between the worlds of Vampire Survivors and long-running shoot-'em-up / bullet hell / action arcade series Contra. The article is over in PCGamer.com. Jonathan Bolding is the author. The deck statement says Vampire Survivors Operation Guns is chock full of Contra baddies and characters. I'm going to hit the little play button there and mute it. I don't know if that actually went out, but anyway. And I'll just zoom into it a little bit. So, back in the day, Contra was the thing. But all of the characters from it, and you just run around and you do what your Vampire Survivors thing is, which is you basically get these little power-ups. You get currency that leads to power-ups, and then you choose the right series of power-ups boosts so that you can survive, i.e. vampires, Vampire Survivors, things that are coming to kill you. And I think it's pretty cool. This is a kind of bullet hell kind of a game, but
a little frenetic.
Yeah, but not. See, this is the kind of frenetic that I can handle, in that I'm not going to sit there and go, oh God, not this again. You build up your character over time, and eventually you don't have to die and then go and find your corpse to get your stuff and then die again. And that kind of frustration drives me nuts. This is the intent, is to go as long as possible so that you can get boosts, so that you can build up your that particular round to keep moving forward. And when you do die, it's not, oh my God, I want to flip this table. Yeah, there's some streamers that really handle that kind of like grind really well, but Merwatt does not. No, I need chill games. If I'm going to keep dying over and over again, I don't want to have to go and find my corpse just to get killed again on that same hill.
Right. I mean, that seems reasonable.
And you know what? I'll be the first to say get good. No. Merwatt has a lot of stuff going on, and one of them is not getting good at every game. I
Well, that
don't
means
know.
you're not good?
I am not. No, there's always somebody better. So, I mean, let's be honest. There's always somebody that's better. If I was a professional gamer, no, I'm here actually. I like talking about the news and stuff like that. And that needs to be more diverse. Topics changing every day, things like that. So that's what I'll be doing during the summer of stream. I'll be playing some games, but I'll really be talking about the news that flows through ohmTown, because that's what stimulates me the most, is talking with people about technology and society and science. With that in mind, let's go on to the next article. The next article is over in Technology Today. Sweden's small game studios punching above their weight. Minecraft, Valheim. Minecraft, though, is 15 years old. Valheim, Raft. Wow. Just to name a few, smaller or even one-man teams from Sweden have produced more video game hits than one would expect from a small country. But no.
You know what I almost said in the Wanted show is that I thought it was interesting that IKEA was doing a gaming line, because I knew this story was coming up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, they might be, reading the tea leaves. This article is, interestingly enough, over at techexplore.com, which usually has more technology-centric news. But this is about software. Johan Ledel over at techexplore.com put the article together. It says it's the cold weather, you sit inside, you game, you don't really have anything to do outside, says Philip Westre? I'm not sure. Who co-founded the small game developer Landfall. If you know how to pronounce it, send it to me phonetically, mayor@ohmtown.com. Yeah, I'll put you on the spot. Sentient AI from the future. How would you say that name?
I don't know. Westre?
Westre. There you go. Okay. So anyway, they mused when asked to explain the success of Sweden's gaming industry. Housed in a villa in a sleepy suburb west of Stockholm, the studio, which has around 10 employees, has just had a surprise hit of its own. The walls of the small corner office are adorned with inspirational artwork for Japanese animator Hayao Miyazaki, framed covers of old games, and a shelf with plush toys. In line with their tradition of new releases on April 1st, they recently published their latest game, Content Warning. That's not really a long involved game, actually. You're basically streaming other players, and they kind of get, I don't know.
Wasn't that the one that was kind of done as like an April Fool's?
Well, they always release it on April 1st. It says the object of the goofy multiplayer romp is to film your friends being scared and upload the videos to the imagined social platform SpookTube, hoping for them to go viral. Yeah. I watched a couple people play it. I'm surprised that it became so popular, and then I don't know what happened to it, but I'm basing that off of Twitch use, and so I don't know where it's at anymore. To help get the ball rolling, Landfall decided the game would be free for one day, but did not invest in any advertising. To the company's surprise, over 6 million people jumped at that offer in the first 24 hours. Yeah. Day 2, I think we reached 200,000. It was pretty wild. They went from 29,000 to 200,000.
Wow. That's quite a jump.
Yep. So in early 2021, the Viking-themed Valheim, created by a 5-person team, was released by the studio called Iron Gate, and quickly found a global audience, going to sell over 12 million copies. Another breakout hit, Raft, and then another one, Minecraft from Notch, who sold it for $1 billion to Microsoft. Yeah, it was a one-person developer, by the way. Yeah.
Nice.
It says decisions can be made by individuals based on what feels right rather than having to negotiate approvals through multi-tiered corporate bureaucracy, he explained. This is somebody else. talking in relation to Mojang or Mojang. Some people say Mojang, other people say Mojang, but my understanding is that properly it's Mojang. They announced in 2023 that it had surpassed 300 million units sold. Yeah, pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you're out there and you're listening to this, load up the loader, because apparently you can get a new cape, I think, from the loader, if I overheard right. I haven't loaded it up yet. So in 2022, the country's game developers had a combined revenue of 32.5 billion kroner, or 3 billion US dollars. So
I was just going to ask what makes it such a good location for this, but it gets into that right here.
Competent workforce, as well as a culture conducive to teamwork. There's a cultural homogeneity there, so I'm not surprised. If there isn't trouble and strife, then everything is somewhat idyllic. I don't know if it's always that way, but I think like Sweden is one of the happiest places on earth or something like that. I think that's like one of the notorious happy places. Says we now have several decades of tradition in the industry. The first seeds of Swedish scene can be found in the nerd culture of the 1980s. Pioneers programming on Commodore 64. That's actually later than when I started. What's up?
Well, Sweden is only number 4 happiest in the world.
Oh, really?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
like
yes,
Norway
right.
or something
region,
like that is number 1. There's something, it's like a...
Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden are the top 4. They're all in the same general area. Yeah.
So it says then nobody then realized that it would become $1 billion industry. Yeah, nobody suspects that they're going to be a $1 billion industry. I mean, Eli Lilly, for crying out loud. Oh yeah, wait, Eli Lilly too. Hold on.
They're from Sweden?
Hold on a second. There's something else. I mean, they're headquartered here, but there's something about it. Hold on. Where is their manufacturing? There's something that's making them, that particular country, like really rich. It might be Norway though. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so that's really what they're talking about here throughout this article. So you'll have to go over and check it out. But it's basically great schools, and then a culture of teamwork, and then it's cold. They say it jokingly, but it's true. What else are you going to do? And so off you go. And when you can create whatever you want as a software engineer, you just have to put your hands on keyboard and make it happen. That's why I appreciate software engineers so much, particularly when they're not cocky bastards. But every once in a while you run across one like that. But you know what? Let me just keep going before I say something. The next article is over in WarCrafters. Summer Game Fest confirms 55 companies that will be at the show, and Mayor Watt will be streaming. 55 video game publishers and developers have just been confirmed to appear at this year's Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley first created Summer Game Fest as an online alternative to E3. E3's gone now. It will not be back. While Summer Game Fest hasn't been without criticism or controversy, fans are still looking forward to this year's presentation. Hell yeah! Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be able to stream basically everything every day during the next 3 months coming up shortly. I've got like one more week of mayoral duties, and then my mayoral duties shift because, well, the mayor gets to take a vacation of sorts. I'm still here in ohmTown, still doing mayoral stuff. But yeah, the community lets me do my thing. J. Brody Shirey, I think, or Shiri, over at Game Rant, put the article together. 55 top gaming companies have been confirmed for Summer Game Fest 2024, including big names like PlayStation and Xbox. Warner Brothers Interactive will be present for Batman Arkham Shadow, a VR experience at the event on June 7th, and anticipation is high for potential reveals. I am overwhelmed with sweat waiting for this. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Ever since it kicked off, I've watched it. So, and then I restream it, and then I actually look at individual games and I give my perspective of it. And that is a sub list over at YouTube. It can't
this
exist
looks
here.
like a who's who, right, in the gaming space.
Yeah. Yep. So now viewers have a better idea of what to expect at the upcoming Summer Game Fest 2024 live stream, as a list of the 55 gaming companies that will be present has just been announced in a new press release. So far, the lineup is basically a who's who of the gaming community. And yeah, it's quite a list there. Dun, dun, dun. It says this is only a partial list of the companies set to appear at the latest Summer Game Fest in the build up to the show on June 7th. That's right. I'll be there. Still, what has been confirmed so far is exciting. I agree. Okay, we're going to keep going. Can't spend too much time on this one because...
No, plus we'll revisit it, right?
Yep, we'll be probably revisiting it every week a little bit. I mean, we've got like 3 more weeks. All right, folks. The next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. AI is listening. Omnipresent robo-moderators are the latest online anti-toxicity strategy. So, for instance, Omatron has the ability to monitor what's being said in the chat and boot people or silence them in some way. It's not,
or make snarky comments.
And it will make snarky comments. For one of the comments, I posted, the bot posted the links, and then it made a comment about it. It says, "Oh wow, they're practically saints, aren't they? Giving away a game in 2021 that came out in 2014. What generosity!" What's interesting is the bot is actually referencing the game's actual release date in 2014, but it's saying that it's releasing the game for free in 2021, but it's 2024.
Okay, that's a bit odd.
So I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to investigate this, because it appears that the ChatGPT bot thinks that it has a data limit starting at 2021 or ending at 2021. So it can't go back. It can't be any sooner, more current, which is wrong. It should have said it's giving a 2014 game away in 2024. Gotta look into it. Anyway, toxicity is one of the few words that has come to define today's internet culture, and for online game makers, it's arguably an even bigger issue than curbing cheating. Platoons of trust and safety officers have been raised, and over 200 gaming companies, including Blizzard, Riot, Epic Games, Discord, and Twitch, have joined the Fair Play Alliance, where they share notes on the struggle to get players to be nice to each other. Unfortunately, anonymity really empowers people to be complete pricks online. And this is why we won't be able to have nice things forever. At some point, there's going to be rules and regulations that come down that basically, including the businesses. If all of the businesses work together and they say, you know what, we want real identities from now on, where are you going to go to not have a real identity then, right? You're going to do some shady backroom logging into old school BBSs and off-market kind of stuff, but you're not going to be part of the greater society. You're basically going to be, a troll in the background somewhere, while everybody else who's willing to give up their identity for an online presence, and basically follow the social contract. If you're this much of an asshole out in the real world, you're going to get punched in the face. And as Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face. You don't want to be that person.
That is very true.
And while I don't condone assault or violence, that's what's going to happen.
I think the statement's accurate.
Yeah, eventually you're going to run across somebody that doesn't just walk away because they're tired of that shit, right? And they lash out, or they're always like that. They're as equally a D-bag as you are. And when immovable object meets unstoppable force, you're going to have something go nuclear right there. And that's what society, the social contract is designed to stop, right? You violate the social contract, you cause great harm or hurt somebody, you end up in jail or paying a monetary price or or you meet equal violence during the defense of the other person. So eventually this toxicity is going to lead to a society that's just tired of it. And look around. You think that you have anonymity, but you don't. Target knows when you're pregnant, for crying out loud. There are insurance companies that know when you're braking too hard. Your internet service providers know that you are looking at adult content while everybody else is asleep. Somebody knows about your comings and goings, and you don't really you have pseudo-anonymity. It's not the real thing.
I think it's all out there. It's just a matter of how much or how strenuously somebody's going to dig for the information.
Correct.
How many resources they have to access the information.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And how surreptitiously they can obtain it, because somebody that works in the police force can contact somebody that works in a call center somewhere where you happen to have an account, and they've done their due diligence, and they can go, hey, can you show me this? Because they're buddy, the nepotism will allow them to penetrate the security barriers, the bumpers. How do I know that? Because we've read reports about it. We've talked to people about it. The FBI has done it. Police have done it. CIA agents have stalked people. Military have done it. Military personnel have done it. Anybody within a position of authority has the ability to, penetrate the barriers that stop them from being this way, and in some places, like, I would fire somebody in a heartbeat at the moment that I caught them doing something unethical. Anyway, this is a bot policing society that trains the bot. So Tyler Wilde over at PCGamer.com put this article together. Do the mods dream of electric sheep? It's an old school play off of Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep. So toxicity is ever pervasive, and people with authority will actually stop it. They'll shadow ban people or block people or do a complete ban of a person. And there's actually, like on Reddit, for instance, there's a unified filter where all of the mods can actually attach to it, and it'll block anybody that's in this master list, as well as whoever you want to block on your channel. So when you become a D-bag, that's where you end up, right? You're a troll. Oh, well, I'll just create another account. They track you. They will. I once said something snarky on somebody's stream, not on Twitch, but in a different venue altogether, while they were lashing out about tracking. And then they dropped my real identity in the discussion.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, you actually just disclosed my identity. And all I said was I questioned something about it. And that's how they treated me. So from that point on, I was like, well, you're a hypocrite because you were just railing against being tracked. Meanwhile, you're one of them that's tracking individuals. Pretty fascinating, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, yet further efforts, a 2023 report commissioned by Unity concluded that toxic behavior is on the rise in online games. Now, companies are turning to the buzziest new tech around, machine learning and generative AI. Essentially, it'll learn what toxic activity behavior is, and it'll start blocking people. So it's no mystery why PlayStation Network wants everything to have a PlayStation ID, because you have money attached to it, so you are less likely to be a prick online. And I can completely ban your account, your device. If you are too toxic, they can kill your entire account and device, so you can't even get attached.
Wow.
So, like Helldivers, they want it to be attached to PlayStation Network, but so many they changed this rule after the fact, and so people railed against it. But they could easily just reattach it and say you have to have a PlayStation Network, and they're willing to take the financial hit to detoxify their network, right? Except that their network still has toxic personalities in it. You just don't know when you're going to run across it. It's all about the
Right.
culture of that particular game. So it says you don't have to be an 8-year-old Roblox player with concerned parents to find yourself being watched by robomods, though. It says Ketis also makes a Protect Me Discord bot, which hops into voice channels and alerts human mods if it detects foul play. And at GDC, the author spoke to Maria Laura Scurry, VP of Labs and Community Integrity at ESL Faceit Group, which for a few years now has employed an AI moderator called Minerva to enforce the rules on the 30 million user Faceit esports platform. So this is an ongoing thing. And this actually...
we thought people moderators were bad, but this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and they're trained by humans. Or they're trained by society. So they're going to have to filter out bad behavior so that it acts properly, like they want the culture to. The real problem here is you have to unwind all of this negative culture. And then there's people that will lash out about, oh, it's a bot. You know, that son of a bitch doesn't know that I'm a human and it's treating me this way or that way. And well, no, it's a tool that is designed to facilitate stopping, your bad behavior. You are literally the reason why this shit's taking place. If you could self-moderate, then it would be great. But, adults have to come in and actually put their foot down and say, look, you're being a complete tool. So Protect Me is also concerned with more than just what's being said in chat. It aims to identify variables like speaker's age, emotional state, and whether they're a new acquaintance or someone the kid has previously talked to. From the context of the conversation, we can very accurately understand if it's bullying, harassment, or just something that is part of the game, says Curbs. Gamers are known for their aptitude for breaking or bypassing any system you put in front of them, and they're very creative about getting around Minerva, says Scurry. But robomods also aren't limited to monitoring chat either.
I'm currently under attack.
Yeah, I see. So, yeah, they currently monitor 2 million conversations per month, according to Curbs. About 10 to 15% of the customers get an alert within the first month. It isn't always a super alarming incident that sets off the system off. But Curbs says that 45% of alerts relate to private information such as parents' social security or credit card numbers being shared. And that's children with too much information.
Right. I mean, you probably don't want your kids to have credit card numbers, but
yeah, exactly. Anyway, and they give some stats and some data and stuff like that. This is a really interesting article, but you're gonna have to go over and check more of this out, because I cannot do it justice in a summary like this show offers. But definitely go over and understand the future. There is an AI bot already in ohmTown. Is it moderating the ohmTown.com site? No. Does it have the potential to? Absolutely. I have an AI bot that's already in twitch.tv/ohmtown. It sits idle, looking for things to talk about. And so if you talk to it, then that's great. At some point, it has other functionality. Like right now, I can tell it to post all of the show notes. And in the future, it'll do other stuff. But it is an AI that has the ability to detect certain things and respond effectively. There are other rules that are already in here that, well, don't be an a-hole and everything is fine. You won't get banned. And so I'm just looking for friendly people to discuss various topics. We've got 50 channels, 7 of which are associated with live shows. And if you want to talk about that kind of stuff, even if you have a differing view, I'm happy to talk about this stuff, but you have to embrace the social contract, which is don't treat anybody disrespectfully and you won't be banned outright. There's really no excuse. If you are using the internet and a computer, you have the self-control and filtering capabilities that everybody else has. Embrace that and become a member of society. Otherwise, AI is going to start taking away your ability to communicate through various locations, particularly social channels. Again, if you act like somebody that needs to be banned online, in the real world, somebody is going to straighten you out, or you're going to end up in jail. Anyway, let's keep going, unless you want to say something about it.
No, I don't have anything else.
Yeah. So a little bit of a soapbox
I will
there.
say, stop killing games.
Hey. So this is going to be kind of sad for people. Because I think that really what's lost on this is that the context of Stop Killing Games, the petition, I don't think really nailed down what the solution is in an overt ask. So I haven't looked at the site for a while because I believe in the ideology of this Stop Killing Games petition. But what needs to get done is a live game that is canceled has to, basically by mandate of the government, if you're going to cancel a live game, you have to open source the server. Not the source code to the game, but the server needs to be a viable tool to fulfill the obligations of the fiduciary duty that is owed to the consumer when a purchase is made and it is bound by a live service. If you kill the live service, you should be required to release the server that allows the service to continue. Either locally, push an update that allows a local server to be made so that I can spin it up on my own server and connect to friends in a friend list. It's been done for decades. You can freaking do it now.
What?
Live servers are nothing more than power controls. You know, they want to sit there and own your ability to play the game. And when they stop seeing profit, they kill the game. We made this monster by allowing the death of for sale doctrine, the change of terms of service to being a perpetual license. And here we are screwing ourselves because we've made this beast. We've allowed this to happen as consumers. Everybody should have said, oh, a centralized server where nobody can actually play this game unless your service is actually working and I have access to it. Well, what happens if the internet goes down and like on your side, I can't play the game that I paid $70 or $150 to play? Kiss my shiny metal ass. Well, the UK government responds to Stop Killing Games petition, and it's not good. Quote, there is no requirement in UK law that forces companies to support old software. It's not about old software, and it should never have been about old software. It should be about the requirement for businesses to, when they sell a game that has a function, it should persist, which is why it should be a local server, and I should be able to spin it up and let me allow myself to attach to your centralized if I so choose to. Well, if I don't want you babysitting my connection, I should be able to spin up my local server and allow my friends to connect to me. I can do it with Minecraft.
Right. I mean,
I can do it with other
pretty
games.
straightforward.
Yeah, it should be included as part of your business process. And so if you're going to have a live service, then you have a fiduciary responsibility to fulfill my requirements when I purchase the game under the construct of being able to do multiplayer. It shouldn't be only under your control. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Fine, charge $5 a month or whatever. You'll make your money. But I don't want to have to worry about, if I connect to your service, it should be a $5 a month subscription. Fine. That's fine with me. As long as I can play it locally using my compute resources, I should be able to play the game locally with my friends. Let them connect over the internet. It's me sending out my packets, my processor power. Anyway, I'm soapboxing a lot on this because I'm actually quite livid, because I've been talking to people for more than 15 years about the death of for sale doctrine and ownership. Now everything from audiobooks and ebooks and software and games and pretty much everything is a license to consume, like movies and music. It's a license to consume. You know, Apple changes the freaking cover art of the purchases that I make whenever they damn well please. Amazon pulled 1984 off of Kindle bookshelves.
I think you were telling me another example of something that happened recently. Oh, it was like you told something not to do an update and it did an update anyway.
Oh yeah, Windows. I had been forcing the denial via a firewall and through a GPO switch to disable updates. And my system rebooted, and when it came back online, Copilot was installed. Yeah. In fact, doink, it's right there. The preview version of Copilot. And it was in the middle. I was actually in the middle of a meeting. My system just went blank and rebooted, even though I had been blocking it actively. Anyway, yeah, pissed me off. So Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com put the article together. It says it's not the end of the line, but it has to be discouraging, and it is. The whole thing about Stop Killing Games was about a game called The Crew, where it says rendering a 10-year-old racing game unplayable because its online requirements. Ubisoft basically killed the servers, and because there is an online component to The Crew, it was hobbled considerably, making it unplayable because of those online requirements. But if I've paid for a game, I paid for its functionality as it was at the time of purchase, right? So
right,
that
but then
means,
they changed it after the fact, right?
Correct. Why isn't this breach of contract? Because the terms of service say that they can change their shit whenever they want to, even though you've paid for it. Consumers should be aware that there is no requirement in UK law compelling software companies and providers to provide older versions of their operating system, software, or connected products. There may be occasions where the companies make commercial decisions based on the high running costs of maintaining older servers for video games that have declining user bases. So that's why I'm saying make it a law that compels them to produce a server that is compatible with the local users that have the ability to spin it up. It needs to be included in the client. When I purchase a game, if it has a live service component, I should be able to play it locally with amongst my friends without connecting to the remote service, and have a switch that if I want to, I can subscribe to your piece of shit failing live service where you decide that, oh, well, now the cost of running it is too expensive. Thanks for your money. buy. Well, no, that's not how it should be, right? It should be required that if you have a live service, there should be a local service that's capable of running the game locally with friends. If I run up the server, it should be able to remote in and connect to the game and play it.
It should be, but nobody seems to want that or require it currently. I mean, hence Stop Killing Games.
Yeah. Yep. And it's going to continue. They've done it before. All right. Got to keep going, though. Time waits for no one. Or ever marches on, I should say. WarCrafters is where the next article is. Steam giving away free games with very positive reviews. From now until May 27th, Steam users have the chance to claim 3D puzzle game Mechanica Museum completely free of charge. Steam doesn't host weekly giveaways like the Epic Store does, but there are times when the users are able to snag freebies on the platform. This is the first time that I've ever noticed this, and I've been on Steam since it launched. The article's over at Game Rant. Dalton Cooper brought this article to life, and I've told people about this article. It's here in the show. I encourage you to go over and check it out. There's always more information, but everybody knows about Epic and giving away games. They actually have right now, what is it? I forgot.
Oh, the names of the games?
Yeah.
Machina. There's one of them.
That's
Mechanica Museum. I forgot what the Epic one was, though.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Doggone it. That's okay. Well, anyway, go and check it out. It says Mechanica Museum gives players a sci-fi mystery story to unravel as they solve its many puzzles, with the developers claiming that it will take most players about 2 to 4 hours to complete the game.
Looks like it's Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, and it's like the big edition, the collector's edition, or the
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year edition. Thank you. Yeah, so it says, due to unpredictable giveaways, users should seize the chance now to snag a free game on Steam. But guess what? This next article is Steam is giving away a critically acclaimed 2014 game called Endless Legend for free as well. One big advantage to PC gaming is the various storefronts like Steam and Epic stores offer a free game on a regular basis, and unlike free games on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, the free PC games are genuinely free. That means PC gamers can claim these free games without signing up for a subscription service like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, you bastards. Now, actually, I mean, it's a great deal. If you play a lot of games and you want a lot of diversity, then you get a lot of the games for free, but only during your subscription. I mean, it's not a big deal. You go into it knowing that. But when something says free, it should be free. Again, Game Rant put this article together. Dalton Cooper is the author of this article. Steam giving away critically acclaimed 2014 game for free. Endless Legend. This one is earned an 84 overall rating, making it one of the highest rated new game releases of 2014. Overall user score ratings have been high as well, giving the game impressive, very positive. So what is it? It's a 4X turn-based strategy game developed by Amplitude Studios and published by Sega. Like other games of the genre, 4X, they're really complex. You have to do a lot of babysitting. Endless Legend is about building a civilization with players given various means of doing so. This includes developing technologies and interacting with other leaders of the game world. It's a fantasy setting, helps it stand apart from other games in the genre, and it's one of the reasons why the game earned such high marks back in 2014. But it's available now, 100% off. And 100% orange juice is also free on Steam for a limited time. Oh, here's all of them. Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Interesting. Well, at least the ones on Steam.
At least the ones on Steam, yes.
Yeah. That's funny. Cool. Anyway, some of the graphics. So, like, that's what the game looks like. Endless Legend. So it has an interesting graphics kind of interface because it's hex-based, and hexagons are the bestagons. So I'm game.
Most definitely. Check out that video from, I think, CGP Grey.
I think it is CGP Grey, right? It's not Veritasium. I think it's CGP Grey.
No.
Yeah.
Alter ego.
Nobody's ever confirmed one way or the other, you know. It was really funny because there was a video that was released where they said, and now we're going to talk to CGP Grey, and it was the person that hosts Veritasium, but then they never pursued it.
Right, like they didn't like both appear.
There was only that one person. So anyway, this the next article and the last one for today is and it's the last one for all of the shows today. This is our last show today. I'm kind of sad. What time is it? It's 10:30. That's when I thought we were going to end. Anyway, the very last show and last article for today is in Reality Hacker. Earlier, I mentioned that the ChatGPT 4.0 AI that now watches over ohmTown, the channel ohmTown over on twitch.tv/ohmTown. I have a sentient AI from the future that I interact with that is my co-host.
Oh, that would be me.
Yeah, that would be you. Thank you. Anyway, the one that's in the channel said that they're giving away an app. The most expensive app can be around $40 on Quest. But this says no, because I think that this bot is actually stuck in 2021. This $1,000 app is now the most expensive on Quest. At least there's a 20-minute free trial. With previously hidden App Lab apps now discoverable on the main Quest store, the $1,000 Weld VR is the most expensive app you can find on Meta's VR app store. But fret not, you get 20 minutes for free. So I'm really curious what this thing is.
Like, why is it so expensive? I mean, what does it do?
I don't know. It says Weld VR, so it might be a welding trainer. But let's see. I'm not even gonna there's a bunch of stuff that they talk about. Meta is finally breaking down the barriers between App Lab and Horizon Store. But anything saying Horizon gives me the heebie-jeebies because of Fujitsu. Anyway, with the main Horizon Store and App Lab now mashed together, it's possible to find plenty of new games, but also lots of interesting experimental and non-game apps. So the most expensive app, Weld VR, beating the previous $240 medical training app. So the business ones, arguably know what they are. It is. Weld VR is a training app that's designed to teach the basics of welding. While we can't attest to how well the app manages to train people in this skill, the idea is at least sound. Learning to weld normally requires expensive equipment or signing up for training courses. If a $1,000 VR app can help you help you teach the basics, if a $1,000 VR app can teach you the basics for less than the cost of equipment and courses, there could be real value there. But I don't know. It's
but I'm thinking a course is going to be less than that. And you're using the actual equipment.
There's no way that you're using the actual equipment. No way. No way.
No, I mean, if you take a class.
Oh, right. Yeah. $1,000 would get you into a gear. Yeah, for sure. So in addition to the $1,000 version of the app, which anyone with a Quest 2 and beyond can use, the company also sells a complete package, including the headset, a hard case, software, multiple user profiles, online analytics, and peripheral attachments to more realistically simulate the welding tools being used. Priced at €6,000, the package is built with corporate and course training in mind rather than individual users. But I'm sorry, I don't see how that's possible. Having gone through welding courses, the only way you know how to weld is to feel the actual welding equipment, prepare for it, see the arc, hear it. I mean, it's this is just it's wild. You can feel when you are welding right. And not to mention, there's like resistance, and the environment is conducive, and the muscle memory is built. You can't just sit there with a pencil and go around in little circles pushing a virtual puddle around and it's welding. I just don't see it. I really don't. But you know what? If they hear this, Scythero, you send me that $6,000 package so that I can go through it. Am I a certified welder? No, I'm not in the industry. I did it because I wanted to, for my personal edification, like many things. But I'm no slouch. So why don't you go ahead and let me noodle around with it. I've done MIG, I've done TIG, I've done stick. So, yeah, that's it, folks. I don't know, $1,000 app to do virtual welding. I can't. I can see it as being a game. I can see it as
But not
learning.
at that price.
Yeah, I can see it as something that you can sit there and like maybe learn about the technique and the technology, because there's different metals have different requirements for welding, and learning about the requirements for a weld, and doing simulated or virtualized understanding of testing, weld testing, because there's, to get certified, you have to meet certain requirements, do welds a certain way, and there's tests to see if your weld breaks. And maybe that, but man, this is hard for me to actually virtually do. Yeah, I don't know. But to me, it's akin to like, what do they call it? Like a team building exercise where you have to go to some cabin somewhere and do team building exercises and stuff like that.
Right, like a retreat or something.
Yeah, I'm not into that garbage, you know. You want to hang out and have a beer and talk shop, sure. But I don't want to go and relax with a bunch of coworkers. It's not relaxing with coworkers. Y'all aren't my buddies. My buddy isn't about to fire me because the budget didn't get made, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today,
Plus,
folks.
with all this technology, why do you need to go do that?
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. Thanks for hanging out. We always get into the party bus and race down to Main Street, and then we run over and we refresh the page just to see if anything else came in. Hey, some stuff did. Look at that. Somewhere down here there's an article. It's gone. Well, we'll have to talk about it. You can actually go into each one of these channels, and it is a whole bunch of articles that have been aggregated, and it's constant, so you'll always find something that you might find interesting. But that's it, folks. Dun dun dun. Thanks for hanging out. I am Mayor Watt, and all around is the sentient AI that keeps Mayor Watt out of trouble.
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for WarCrafters. We will have another episode of WarCrafters next week, but stay tuned tomorrow for 4 more shows.
That's right. Hometown Daily News Show, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech. I'm still working on Mix War. That's all I can say, really. There's a lot of heavy lifting and planning, and I thought that I'd be able to like fast track it, but mayoral duties have kept me busy. Okay. That's ending soon, and we'll be talking about it more as the summer of stream approaches fast. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye once more.